Welcome back to the Better Every Day podcast, where we're unlocking our best self one episode at a time. My name is David Garcia, and this is my beautiful wife, Grace Garcia.
Hello.
And welcome back to the Better Every Day podcast. We are back. We've said that I don't know how many times this year, but we are back. We've had, every time that I feel like we start this podcast, we always go, oh, we're busy. But we have been busy. The busyness has finally settled down.
We hope. Just kidding.
No, it's finally settled down. We have concluded our tribe group, which was financial freedom, which went really, really well. I have concluded helping out the church that I was helping out on Wednesdays. Elijah's soccer practices have gone down to, I guess we have a break for 2 weeks, he said. So, everything's been calm. And, you're working in summer school, but you get out a little bit earlier. And the last couple of days, you've been spending time with the kids. Nice, but she's still tired.
Always.
Yeah, this woman wakes up tired.
Yeah. I have to get a sleep study.
What if they say that you have sleep apnea? Yeah.
Then you're going to hear me with the machine.
I'm going to send you back to the back room. But yeah, how have you felt during this whole process of being busy, being done with it? Are you happy that we're done with it? Are you going to miss it? Are you enjoying this time that you're having with the kids? Every time that you come home, I see that you're taking them out on bike rides, spending time with them, making them do homework, even though they're not technically in school, even though they kind of still go to school, but it's more like, daycare or something like that. So how do you feel?
I do think the ending of the tribe group is a little like, it's nice getting into routine, getting to know people more, hearing the awesome testimonies.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's in both of us for wanting to help people and, sharing our knowledge, seeing how we can be of service. But it does feel nice to slow down, not having to be like, oh, do we have something? Am I going to get good sleep? I'm going to have to wake up early tomorrow. And like that feels nice. Summer school is another beast. Like it's crazy. I posted it on my TikTok. Like I come out at 12. You would think I'm like, yes, I'm out. I'm full of energy. Like it's 12 and I'm like at my desk. I'm hoping that's just the first week that I'm transitioning. But it's another beast because we don't have a break. So it's like back to back. I have so many kids. Some are like very high needs. And yeah, it's a lot. But I do like that I'm out early. I get the kids out a little bit earlier than usual. So we have a slow afternoon. And it's not like I have to go somewhere here, drop off kids, tag, go into soccer. And so just trying to soak in the summerness. Going outside, enjoying it. Kids love their bike. We were going on bike rides quite a lot a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Or I got a new bike, so now she's excited because she was getting kind of tired of her little one.
Yeah, that's been one of the best purchases that I've done in the recent past. Like, she's been in this living room riding her bike back and forth, and she has like a humongous cheesy smile on her face, and I'm like, "Are you happy?" She's like, "Yeah." And it makes me so happy that, like, I honestly thought, like, she might be nervous on the bike, that she might not get the hang of it. Like, the first, 5 or 10 minutes, she had to get the hang of it because of the way that it's built. If you go backwards, you brake. You have to go forward. So, but she has loved it, and yeah, it's gonna be cool to see her do that, and then I'll start adjusting the training wheels, and little by little, hopefully she gets to a point where she can ride the bike without the training wheels.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been amazing. I was a little curious, maybe we can talk about this, is how did you feel working with me on the tribe group? We've done a couple of tribe groups together, and I feel like sometimes we clash, sometimes I guess we have arguments or discussions about the way that we do things, and there was one point where you were like, I think we should do it like this. And I was like, no, we're going to do it like this. So how did you feel working with me in regards to that?
I think overall it was a good experience. In the beginning, we're so different. And so I have a way of envisioning things, and we're both like smart, stubborn people.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think there's a particular like best way. There's just preference.
There definitely is. In this subject, there definitely is.
I think there's just preference. And so in the beginning, it was like tension, but then once I surrendered it, it was like whatever.
And okay, so I think there's you're saying that there could be different ways of doing it, and I agree only to the extent of it depends what the goal or the mission of the tribe group is, right? Because what our argument was, I wanted to do more of like a class style. Here's all the knowledge that we have. We're going to put it on a slide. We're going to communicate it. We're going to give you real life examples. We're going to walk you through this, and you take notes, you take pictures, whatever. You take whatever it is that you want to take. You take it home. We'll give you guys homework. Come back next week. We're going to be checking in on you, making sure that everything's good and stuff like that. The mission of that style is here's a bunch of financial education that you don't have. And I believe that was the best way to do this version of the tribe group because I think it was 80 or 90% of the people that we had fill out the survey said, my biggest challenge is I don't have the financial education, right? Whereas, and correct me if I'm wrong, because we were arguing about how to do this, I was like more class style. You were like, I want to do it more like circle style and have everybody kind of share. And like, it seemed like to you, it was more of like maybe a support group. It's the vibe that I was getting from, doing it in a circle or whatever. Whereas I'm like, they said that they need the financial education. So let's just give it to them. Like, what was your thought on the whole like sharing and?
Yeah, well, I feel like as a teacher, I don't assume my sixth graders know anything. Mm-hmm. But we do a strategy that's I do, we do, you do. And I feel like there's different variations of that. So I saw it as in we start off sharing, especially in the beginning. That's where we're butting heads. Because like in the beginning, talking about the emotional and the mental and spiritual stuff, it's asking them, what do you struggle with? What is stopping you from getting to where you're at? Talking about it. And then the last 15 minutes, be like, okay, this is the info we have for you. Mm. That style.
And to be completely honest, the only reason why I didn't want to do that is because I've been in enough tribe groups at the church that we're at to know that if you give the group the mic, they're going to run away with that mic. Meaning, like, if you start the whole sharing thing, like, the whole thing will be about sharing. And at the end of it, people will walk away being like, so I just came here to hear Bobby Joe's story and their feelings.
I think that's what's important as us being the leads. Because I've had, for example, when I did it with Melody, the wife life group, mm-hmm. we would all share in the beginning. And then we would give like a 10, 15 minute lesson at the end of like, okay, this is what we had for you presented. But you have to tell the group, this is what's going to happen. This is what it's going to look like. And if you need to put a timer, 2-minute timer, you can only talk 2 minutes max. Then it has to be someone else. And we'd always say, like, don't speak until, like, 3 people have passed before you and it's, like, quiet. Like, you don't want the same person hugging it. They have to have, like, very clear expectations.
I get that. But, again, I feel like, I mean, you tell me your advice now in hindsight or your point of view. Because all of our classes, except one, I think, finished early. The rest, like, they finished right on time. We said we start at 7. We usually start at like 7:15 and they'd be done for about 8:20, 8:30, which, we were trying to like stay on time. The time that we say that we're going to do it, we're going to do it. After that, if you want to hang out, cool, it's up to you. But if you don't want to hang out, hey, we promise you 8:30, you're out the door, And so we had obviously enough information, both in the spiritual and the emotional and the mindset, to be able to impart on the group. Now imagine trying to cram the hour and 15 minutes into now just 15 minutes because now we're allowing everybody to speak for about an hour. And with allowing everybody to speak, there is no sort of direction. Now it becomes more of like a support group. Like, oh, what do you feel? What is your point of view? And what do you think here? And oh, you think differently? Like, oh, like let's hear everybody. Where again, I go back to the survey. Everyone said my biggest challenge is I don't have the financial education.
I don't see it as the discussion, and maybe I'm like being naive or not thinking too much about it, but I don't see the discussion being as like, oh, this is how I think to do it. It's just, what is your experience with money? Like, why are you feeling in the emotional part or the mental part or the spiritual part?
What would you say would be the mission of that portion of the tribe group? Would it be simply for support, simply to feel like I'm not alone?
Yeah, I think it'd be to relate, to pinpoint like a pattern, to develop, I think, in being vulnerable and sharing. Like, I would hope that people develop relationships where then now when they leave, they know that they can count on someone. Like, hey, we're on this together. Versus of like, I came in, got in financial education, and I'm still kind of doing this alone. Like, I don't know. And yeah, I think just to know that they're being like walked with and not just being taught to.
I guess. But we did it the way that we did it.
Yes, we did.
For me, I was pleasantly surprised. I was pleasantly surprised because we have been in tribe groups, and to be honest and transparent, we've been in tribe groups together to where I'm like, I feel like I'm pulling all the weight. I feel like I'm trying to stay on top of everything, not winging it. And there would be times where I'm like, oh, like homegirl's like last minute, just like, oh yeah, well, whatever. And this time, like, I mean, we were both using Canva to do the presentation. So I'd be seeing like a couple of days before you were already getting your presentation together. Like it seemed like, I mean, it came across to me that you cared. Like you wanted to make sure that you were ready to present, ready to give knowledge, ready to impart, ready to like bless whoever was there. So that for me was like, oh, like, okay, I don't have to worry about that part anymore. Because honestly, that was a little bit of a worry. Like, am I gonna have to like constantly nag her? Like, where's this and where's that? And how come you're not doing this? And how come not? So that was awesome. And then hearing you impart, your experiences and everything that you've gone through and helping people it was great. So I think it was an overall great experience.
But before this, we only did one tribe group together. Was
it only one?
And that was a long time ago when I wasn't even in my consistent game.
Yeah. Well, again, honest and transparent. I swear it was more than one, but I guess it felt like an eternity because.
What else did we do?
I don't.
Besides the cure.
I don't know, but I do remember thinking like I never want to do a tribe group with her ever again.
But that was before I became consistent about anything.
Yeah.
Like before my TikTok, before my morning routine, before my working out. Like
it was just the book, right, that we did.
Yeah. And so I feel like to judge me based off of a old self of me.
Yeah. I mean, hey, we did it together.
It's not nice. And I showed you in other areas of my life, like the study hub, when I was asked to preach, like I'm not doing it last minute. Like I've been.
Yeah, of course.
So what's our next tribe group?
I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea.
I would love to do a marriage one.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Are we doing one in the next season?
we haven't talked about it.
I think I'm going to take the next season off. Yeah. But anyways, kind of staying on that topic, this episode, I wanted to center it around finances and specifically in the topic. So with our group, we talked about, like Grace was saying, we talked about the spiritual. We started off with like basically the foundation, the spiritual side, the emotional side, and the mental side. And what we basically said is if you don't have this foundation like down pat, then you have no business going into like the knowledge or the practical part of finances. Because if any of these three pillars are not well, you're building a house of cards and it's going to crumble every single time. right? Either your emotions are going to fail you and you're going to make mistakes, or your mental game, you're not going to be able to have the patience to be able to see everything through, or the spiritual side, you're going to get attacked and you're going to fold, right? But after we did the foundation, then we talked about, the basics, the saving $1,000 for emergency fund. We talked about getting out of debt, which getting out of debt was a very exciting one for me to do. I to see everybody's faces of like, oh, what?
Yeah.
Because most people, we talked about the snowball effect, and then there's another one called the avalanche effect, but we center around the snowball effect. And to see everybody's faces, because a lot of people with debt feel like, oh my goodness, like I'm going to be in debt for the rest of my life. And then you do this snowball effect and you show them like a scenario and they're like, it's really only going to take me that long to get out of this? Mm-hmm. And to open up that door of hope and possibility is amazing. So I'd love that, to turn minds around of like, I can't do this, to, oh, this is possible.
Yeah.
And we heard stories of like, hey, I'm doing this. And I really love that we did that as well. We did this thing like a praise or victory report. We had people fill a form out, whether they wanted to anonymously or not. And they could say, hey, this is what happened this week, or this is a victory that I had, or whatever. And it was amazing. To almost every single week we had something to share or whatever. And it was awesome. And after that, we talked about, saving the 3 to 6 months. And then we talked the very last one. The very last class that we did was the investing one, which another one where everyone's like, what? Mm-hmm. For 2 reasons. One being, oh my gosh, I'm kind of old and I'm not sure if I'm going to be ready for retirement. And number 2, oh my gosh, my money can really do that. And again, the whole point of that last one was to inspire them, to show them what their money can do, and hopefully inspire them to really just bust their butt. Dave Ramsey likes to call it gazelle intense, to be gazelle intense, to be able to pay off their debt as fast as they can so they can build their 3 to 6 months emergency, and so they could start investing as fast as possible, because the more time that you have in the market, the more compound growth you're going to have. Now, on this topic, we talked about habits, we talked about the emotions people have and stuff. And I think one thing that everyone is dealing with right now, one word, inflation. Now, during 2020, whether you know it or not, COVID happened. Everyone knows that. But something that maybe everybody doesn't know is that the Federal Reserve, which is part of the government, started what we retail people call printing money. They were just printing money. Stimulus is just printing money. They had the PP something for all the businesses. They had like ways to help everybody. And they were printing money and putting money out there, right? A couple of years after they printed all that money, oh my gosh, inflation is like terrible. Why? Because people get all that money and they spend that money, right? And so 2020 to 2024-ish, like the market was really bad. So there's this thing, they call it an inflation report. It comes out every single month and it tells you month over month, inflation's going up or down. And year over year on that month, inflation's going up or down. And during that time of 2022, 2024, it was inflation. It was like no surprise. Like they had put a lot of money out there. And so the Federal Reserve now had to backtrack and they had to start raising rates. And I don't want to go into the nitty gritty. A lot of people don't know about this or understand it. But 2025, everything starts coming down. And then the President Trump does all the tariffs. I'm pretty sure everybody kind of saw the headlines, putting basically taxes on all the countries. He was trying to get people to invest in America, which means like buy American products, stop buying from China, stop importing from China, like put the money, make the money here, use the money here, right? And so everyone kind of like, oh, like, things were getting crazy, but the inflation wasn't too bad. Now we are here in the moment of like, we're on the brink of a war, or we're in the middle of a war, depending on who you're asking. Like we're already in the war. Some people might be like, we're on the brink of war. But with everything going on with Iran, obviously the oil prices are high, and oil prices are high. The gas prices are high. Like, what are we paying right now in California? Like $6 or more? No, around 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not so long ago, President Trump came out and was like, oh, it's like the lowest gas prices. I don't know if you remember. It was like 12 months ago. I think the gas prices here got as low as, I'm going to say $3.90 something, like around $4. And that for us is like pretty cheap. Mm. And it was a couple months later and boom, we're at $6 because of everything that's going on. Now, I don't want to go into the politics and stuff like that. That's not the whole point of it. But the point of it is that we are dealing with inflation, right? And for normal people like us, like, we feel it, right? Like, we only make so much money, and maybe we were saving, maybe we weren't saving. But if we were saving, we're saving less now because we're spending more. We're spending more on gas. Like, I know during the class that we were doing, I was like, what was I talking about? The prices of cars or gas or something? Oh, I think gas. And I was like, like $80. And somebody kind of like scoffed, and they're like, I put like $150, $175 in my car or truck or whatever. I'm like, that sucks. That sucks.
Yeah.
But right now, like your car, which has a bigger gas tank, I think the worst I've seen is like 105, which we were never there.
Yeah, it was like 60, I feel like.
It was like average, like $60 we were putting like maybe weekly or maybe like every 7 to 10 days or something like that.
That's like every week.
Now it's like every week, and you have this conspiracy that...
No, it's not a conspiracy. It passed through Congress.
What?
It's a law that passed through Congress.
That they watered down the...
They voted for like 13%. Is it ethanol or something?
Uh-huh.
They voted on it.
So basically, like, they watered down the gas.
Yes. And people are like, if you go to the gas station, it doesn't even smell like gas anymore, which is true. Go to the gas. It says like... I think they have to tell, the gas stations have to say which ones don't. Because there are some, if you could look for it, like there are some that don't water it down or whatever. Mm-hmm. But then there's some that do. So it...
And they charge you the same price for the watered down?
No, it's a little bit cheaper, but it doesn't last as long.
Do you think Arco waters it down?
I'm pretty sure.
Because Arco's like the cheaper one.
Oh, then for sure.
Well, that's the crazy thing too. And I don't want to go too far into it, but like, yo, you cross the street and it's like $6.25, and you come over here, it's like $6. Like, I'm like, how is it like not universal? I don't know. I don't want to get into the nitty gritty, but anyways, like if you go into like LA, I think it's like $7, or at one point it was like $8 at the worst of it, I think. And I'm like, that's insane for people that are like middle class or below average or whatever. Like, they're feeling it. And what I want to get into is like, okay, like everyone is dealing with inflation. Now, not everybody is dealing with it in the same way. What I want to get to is there's some people that have done the right things leading up to this point. And leading up to this point, dealing with inflation, yes, it sucks that they're not saving as much, but it doesn't affect them as much because they've done everything right. Like, for example, a family that doesn't have any debt and that they're saving, let's say, $1,000 a month. Instead of $1,000, maybe they're saving $750 now. No debt, nothing to worry about. The only thing that they really have to cry about, if they have anything to cry about, is they're saving $250 less, right? More groceries, more in gas, more if they shop or whatever. But a family like that, it goes, yeah, inflation sucks, but I'm fine. Whereas somebody that has not great financial habits, living already paycheck to paycheck, and now inflation hits, those are the people that you see like, we need some sort of gas relief. I think they were saying that President Trump was saying something about taking away the gas tax for a little bit to give like a little bit of relief to people. But those are the people like banging on the drums, like my life sucks. This is so hard. Like things are getting worse. Like I can't afford anything, yada, yada, yada. And I guess that's what I want to get into is I listened to a podcast with Tony Robbins. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but motivational speaker. He's pretty good at the motivational speaking and figuring people out why they speak. But he said, most people don't change until they have to. Which brings up into my mind, like another way of saying that is most people are not proactive, they're reactive. Mm-hmm. Right? They take it day by day and whatever happens, I'll react to it. Instead of, I know that I need to be financially wise and so I'm going to prepare. I know that I'm getting older and so I'm going to prepare with my health. Like people are not usually proactive. They are reactive. And I guess maybe a question of your thoughts is, do you think people have like a sort of like a complex of feeling untouchable? Like, for example, I remember you at the beginning of our marriage, like it really irked me the way that your mind worked, whatever, because you were like, everything's just going to work out. Everything's fine.
I still think that.
And I'm like, what do you mean? Nah, you're not like before. Before you were like super mega uber like naive of like, God's got angels all over me. I'm floating. But do you feel like they have that complex of like, I'm untouchable? Like even when it's bad, I know I'm going to be fine. Like, do you feel like that's what causes them to like not be proactive? Just being like, I'm going to be fine. Like,
one group of people, yes. I do believe some people think like that. I believe, on the other hand, I feel like I have heard of people like the victim mentality of like, everything goes bad. I'm never going to get out of the debt. I'm never going to get or catch a break. But I think in both scenarios, both groups of people, what they have in common is their limited sight. They can't see ahead of them, whether that's positive or negative. If that makes sense. So the faith people, or I don't know if you want to call it faith, because faith without action is dead. But the optimistic people can't see in the future of, okay, but what if an emergency happens in the future? What if you get older? What if, I don't know, something happens? And then the negative people can't see far ahead, but they can't see like hopeful far ahead. Like, what if I get better at this? What if I learn? What if whatever? And so I think humans in general are very nearsighted. We are very selfish and in the moment. So whatever happens, and we're very forgetful. We forget about the past. We forget about the future. We just think about our now situation, which is not a good idea. So that's what I think.
Yeah, I would agree with you. And it really irks me. And I again, that's one of the reasons why I really was glad that we did this Financial Freedom Tribe group, because now everybody who joined and came, all if not most of the weeks, now have no excuse of like, I don't know any better, right? Because a lot of people like, yeah, it's true, it's very true. I do not take that away from anybody when they say I was never taught any better. And like, okay, yeah, you could say, you could be a little bit, strict or harsh and be like, well, you could have found out by yourself. But let's be honest. A lot of us don't grow up with financial education. We have parents that tried their best, but I mean, everybody's best look different. Yeah. There is no like, this is the way to win or whatever. Like financial education in the Hispanic world and in many worlds, it's just non-existent. And so the lack of knowledge really makes us like, okay, well, I mean, the only thing that you have, if you don't have financial knowledge or wisdom, then the only thing that you have is financial emotions and what you're surrounded by, right? Like the advertisements that you're surrounded by, the things that you're influenced by, you're influenced by. So, so those are the people that are like, oh, I need a car and I need a house and I need the flashy things. I need a gold chain, so on and so forth. But I think it's so important. It is so important to be proactive. And I think maybe that may be the point of this whole conversation. Being proactive versus reactive in every area of your life. We're talking about inflation right now because everybody feels it, right? Like everybody can relate with inflation right now. Like, I mean, maybe Tesla owners are like, oh, like I don't have to worry about gas prices or whatever. But I mean, everybody gets groceries. Groceries have gone up. I remember this wasn't during this time, but I remember the whole eggs thing?
Like $8.
$8, and how much are they usually?
It was like $2.99
for a dozen. $8. Yeah, we've been living in the last couple of years. We've been living in crazy financial times, and so, and I don't know if the government is enforcing or conditioning people in a negative way in regards to like during COVID. It's like, oh, you're having financial problems? Here's all this free money. And so I don't know if everyone is conditioned, and these are the people that are reactive, go, well, we're going to go through hard times. The government's just going to save our butts again. I mean, we're just going to get free money. Nobody was taxed on that money. Like they're going to do it. If anything goes wrong, government's got our back. And there's still some people that are here, or like even headlines that I see, like, when's the next stimulus? It's like, how much free money do you want? And what did you do with, like, what was it like? I think it was a combined of like $8,000 per person that we got or something like that. Like it was something ridiculous. I mean, we weren't complaining, obviously. I mean, we did all the right things with it, so we're good. But what I'm trying to get at is like, we can't always, one of the things that I always hear Dave Ramsey say is you cannot rely on the government. Mm-hmm. The government's not going to come and save you. And yeah, it might seem so in that stimulus time, but they can only do that for a little bit. And then look at what happened in the next couple of years. Everybody was screaming inflation and oh my God. And you might be wondering why inflation is happening. Well, because the government came and saved your butt for a little bit and gave you free money. So obviously for every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. So there's always a consequences to things, whether it's a good or bad consequence. If you choose something good, it might be a good consequence. If you choose something bad, it's going to be a bad consequence, right? And so what I'm trying to get at is the importance of being proactive. You want to get to a point where you do not have to rely on the government. You do not have to rely on a loan. You do not have to rely on debt. And you can simply rely on, it took me some time, but I have built this safety net. I have built this emergency fund. I have built these investments. I have built my habits to the point where I'm saving XYZ amount. And now when inflation happens, whether the world is up high, I'm winning. Where the world is on the low, I'm at peace. Why? Because I've built all these habits that will be able to sustain me.
That's good. I have a question.
Yes.
Do you think, well, what is harder, having financial pressure or financial uncertainty?
What is harder, financial pressure or uncertainty? Ooh, that's a good question.
Thank you.
Financial pressure? Okay, let me put out this scenario. Financial pressure. Let's say debt. It's coming. It's building.
Everything's going up.
Everything's going up, which means that your debt is going up, because if you're already living in debt and you keep not saving and you keep going into debt little by little, month after month, it's growing bigger. And I can imagine the pressure building, because you're like, I keep digging a bigger hole and I don't know how or if I'm going to be able to get out of here.
Then that kind of leads into uncertainty, right?
I would say uncertainty is more, the economy is going down and I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep my job.
Well, that kind of leads me to another question, because I don't want to say in a perfect scenario, but let's say the worst thing that's happening is people are not being proactive.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst thing is that people are being reactive.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a better end of the straw than trying to have a job. You got fired. You feel like you can't catch a break. You don't have, like, you're looking, nothing's cutting out for you. And you're like in.
So you're saying uncertainty is worse than pressure?
Right? If it's in that scenario?
It really depends on the uncertainty, right? I think there's a version of uncertainty where you don't know what's going to happen, but also there's a little bit of guilt and blame on yourself for not preparing yourself for moments like this, right? So for example, there is a theory that says that AI is going to make a lot of people lose their jobs. Those people that are going to lose their jobs are going to be put into uncertainty. They have seen this
trend
coming towards them for years now. There is no surprise. There is no from one day to another. You've heard of AI and you've heard of the theory that a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. Now, person A heard all this and said, nah, that's not real. They end up losing their job because of AI. And that person did not prepare. And so now they're like, what the heck do I do? Because the only thing that I've done for 10 years of my life is this one job. And now AI has completely annihilated it. What do I do? That person, I believe, is a person that has uncertainty, but also on top of him is guilt and what was the other word that I said? Guilt and
shame.
Sure, shame. Let's call it shame. Why? Because you had the opportunity, you had the time to be able to prepare yourself, to get more knowledge, to get more skills, to be able to be like, if I lose this job, it's okay. I can branch out and go do something else. But because they didn't do that, now they have uncertainty and they're blaming themselves. Blame is what the word. Guilt and blame towards themselves because it's just like, I put myself in this uncertainty. Now this uncertainty seems like there is no doors open to me. Whereas person B saw the ball coming and prepared themselves and said, if I lose my job, here's my second avenue that I could go down. Boom, they lose their job. All right, I'm going to my next open door. I left myself with options to do, right? Two different uncertainties. And then it goes back to proactive and reactive. One said, no, nothing's going to happen to me. I'm fine. Didn't prepare themselves. And boom, you're in uncertainty. And now you have little to no hope. Other person prepared themselves, proactive. The uncertainty came, but they were prepared for it. I'll go down these different avenues, right?
Do you think, I'm trying to put myself, I agree with you. But do you think people can look at us and be like, oh, well, you guys are in a place of privilege, so it's easy for you to say that, versus people who are born in a scenario and they're like, I can't catch a break.
Okay. Explain to me this point of privilege, please, because I don't feel it.
We are second generation.
Okay.
We both came from middle-class families.
Okay.
I feel like that's already a step. We have education.
I think it will come from...
We have general education.
General education, okay. I think most people have general education.
No, what if someone migrated and they never finish high school? What if there's a teen pregnancy?
No.
I'm just saying because you hear...
No. As many stories as you hear of people that, poor them, that they
think
had...
it's victim. Like if someone has been looking for a job for like 2 years. Or how about the single mom? Or the abused mom who has 4 kids. She had to leave her husband because it's a scary situation. And is working 2 to 3 jobs to make ends meet.
There is thousands, if not millions of stories of people that were down on their luck and they championed through. and they have a testimony. Wherever it is that you find yourself, if you feel like you're in the lowest of your lows, that is the lowest that you'll go as long as you move forward, as long as you try. Listen, I'm going to paint two scenarios again. Both people are down on their luck. You can, whatever scenario you want, single mother, a widow, you can call it an immigrant, whatever. But the same scenarios, okay, for both people. One goes, like you said, 2 years I've been looking for a job. Okay, well, what job have you been looking for? The same one? Oh, okay. Have you studied anything in the meantime? Have you looked at any podcasts? Have you sought any education? Because maybe, yeah, okay, maybe they can't afford, proper education, college or whatever. But that should not stop anybody. And so, okay, what have you done to really expand yourself? Because if you say, I've been looking at this one job and that's what I've been applying at over and over again, homeboy or homegirl, like if you got rejected the first 6 months, like, hey, maybe you should like pivot and try something else, right? Scenario 2, same person, same scenario, but that person was like, no. And this is the story of the champions. This is the story of the testimonies. No. I'm in a bad spot. I know, but I'm going to persevere. Mm-hmm. I'm going to persevere and I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to go through my networking. I'm going to look for education. I'm going to try to prepare myself as best as I can with the resources that I have. What's the resources and knowledge-wise is pretty endless in this time. So there is no like excuse of like, oh, I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know who, whatever. Like that person does that and they start little by little. Oh, I got this job. Maybe it's not the job that I wanted, but through here, I'm going to learn this and I'm going to network here, whatever. And then I'm going to jump here and bam, 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 bam. And there's tons of stories. And so I think, again, maybe that in that scenario, it's not about proactive or reactive, but it's more about, am I going to say that I'm doing something and play the victim and be like, nothing's coming, like nothing's falling from heaven for me? Whereas the other person, and this goes back to the one conversation that we had between a sailor and a rower. The sailor's like, the wind's not blowing for me. Like I have nowhere to go. I'm stuck in the middle of the sea. The rower goes, well, the wind's not moving. All right, well, I'm going to start paddling. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going somewhere. And so, yeah, I give no excuses to wherever it is. And I to go back, because it kind of like, I guess not irked me or whatever, but I'm like, I don't believe that I am a person of privilege.
No, I think you are privileged.
Based on the perspective of, okay, maybe like an immigrant that just came over. But like, I don't see myself as a person of privilege because, I mean, I've talked about my story. Like, yeah, I guess we were middle class. We had a house. And they lost a house, like, but they sold all their retirement to get their house. They got the house. They lost the house. Like, so they lost everything. It's just like, I got no education, no like financial education through all that. Like everything that I learned, I had to go out and figure it out.
Yeah, but I do think we have privilege. Not as much as like other people.
I don't have anybody saving my butt.
No, I think even the privilege of like you had friends who that one time gave you a check, who lent you money because like something went wrong. Like that, like That's not, I would not call that privilege. That's. I think there's different levels of privilege. And so I don't think we're like privileged in like, oh, we come from like wealthy class and background education or whatever. But that we have more privilege than others, 100%, I do think. Again, there's levels of privilege.
So you're saying we have a level of privilege because of the resources that we have.
Resources that we have. We are healthy. We have all our body parts. Like there's people who have it worse than us. Like we are blessed.
It's all based on perspective, I think.
No, I think there's different levels of privilege. Now, do I think that someone who's less privileged than us can overpass us, get to our level? 100%. I think anyone, that's what you were saying. Will it be way harder for them than it is for you? I do think so. I think, unfortunately, just because of life, like we're not all dealt the same cards. But we all have how you said, the tool, we all have the same, not the same opportunities, because some of us don't have the same opportunities. But there is a way, and it might be difficult, but that's why the champions, it's a small few.
I don't mind where this conversation has gone. But I have to push back on what you're saying. We are not where we are because of privilege.
No, we're where we're at because of wisdom.
Of wisdom,
and learning.
Of practice, of actions taken, of us grinding, of us sacrificing.
But
that's not privilege. That's available to anybody.
I think it would have taken us longer. I have a good paying job that if I didn't go to college and my parents couldn't have afforded me to go to that college.
Excuse me?
That I wouldn't have gone, or if they didn't have the expectation, or like if I didn't have good parents and stuff. Like I come from a good family where I was able, there's kids, at least I've seen students who it's a privilege to have quiet time to do their homework. Versus there's other kids that they're just trying to survive, or they're foster, like home to home. You can't tell me one has a upper footing than the other one. One that's doesn't know where the next meal is versus one that can focus on school.
Debatable, I think. Debatable. And the reason why I say is
I don't think that's debatable.
Listen,
they all can achieve.
Listen,
look,
Linda.
If the finish line is there, they can all get there. But it's going to take some are, the line is farther back for them because they're foster going home to home, because they're getting abused, because they're immigrating. They're going to be in different levels that they can all put the work to get to the finish line 100%. I'm not saying no.
Okay.
But some they're going to have to work harder. Yes. Because they're not healthy, because they come from a...
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Then in that regard, I agree with you. Basically, what I hear you saying is that if I start at the halfway point, somebody might be starting at the very beginning, 0, let's call it. And some people are starting at 1, some people are 2.
Some people are ahead of you.
Some people are ahead of me.
Yes.
Sure. Okay. I give you that.
But that they all can race and finish the line? Yes, I do agree.
Yes.
But it, unfortunately...
So you're saying the privilege is that we started at, I wouldn't even call it 50. I mean, for my personal life, your personal life, you live pretty comfortably. You're fine. You're fine.
I'm blessed.
Sure. And I mean, I grew up the way that I grew up. The things you're talking about, like emotional traumas. I had emotional traumas.
Yes. 100%.
And I feel like that's why I push back, because I guess at the core of it, I don't identify with somebody of privilege.
But you had 2 parents. You had a roof over your head and you had food. There's students who don't have, like, they go to school and are excited that they know there's going to be a meal at school.
But that's the other thing too, is I get what you're saying.
Do you?
But I also believe that the greater the setback, the greater the freaking launch.
100%. I don't know if like the greater the launch, but I do think
the greater the launch.
They've looked at like what makes a resilient kid, and unfortunately, the majority are not resilient. There always is going to be in a population group resilient kids, but that's not the majority of humanity. The majority of humanity is not like, this is tough times. Let's just let these tough times form us and become the champion.
I think we have made soft people and kids, but I think at our core, we have a mechanism within us that always wants to survive and thrive.
Yeah, but you don't think it's survival of the fittest? It's not the majority. It's the remnant.
I think when it comes to that regard, I think the door is open to anybody. When you're talking about survival of the fittest, I could see like, oh, like survival of the fittest. There's billionaires and Elon's about to be a trillionaire. Like, yeah, like that's, they're a dot to us. But going through the door of going back to like, the whole inflation thing where it's like, oh, inflation's coming and we're fine with it. Anybody can be in that through that door. Anybody. Now, granted, what you're saying, we might have all started at the same time, but some people started behind us, some people are in front of us, and so when we get there is different. But even if we started in different places, I still don't believe that dictates when you cross that finish line. Meaning, if somebody in front of me starts in front of me, it doesn't mean that I'm going to get to that finish line behind them. No, and the same thing goes for the person starting way behind me. At that point, it comes down to what I've been saying this whole time. What actions are you taking? What habits do you have? How disciplined are you? How determined are you?
100%.
How gazelle intense are you? Like, and that going back to the finance things, we told everybody, paying off your debt is the most important thing that you can do. You could put $100 towards it more than you usually do, or you could put $1,000 towards. But if you put $1,000 towards it, it means that you are sacrificing the going out, the watching movies, the all the subscriptions. You're sacrificing all that, meaning that you're gazelle intense. You're gonna do it as hard and as fast as you can, so you can reach at least that one finish line of out of debt, right? Mm-hmm. So, meaning if a person that's right by the finish line just has to take one step, decides I don't want to take any steps towards, I'm almost there anyways. Like, let me just chill, like whatever. The rabbit and the turtle, whatever story. And the person at 0 goes, I'm going to go all in. There is a possibility that the person that's right next to the finish line still loses to the guy that's at 0.
100%. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, regardless of where it is that you start, it's not about where you start. It's about the habits that you have and the discipline and the determination. That's exactly what it is. And that eliminates the whole victim mentality of, oh, look at me where I started. Well, I had this PTSD and I had this and I didn't have any parents and I had to immigrate and this person died and blah, 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 blah. Like, and I lost a limb here. Like, there's stories like, there's stories of people that are losing limbs and it doesn't stop them. They keep going. They're better than the person that has all their limbs. Like, there's nothing stopping anybody.
I agree.
Oh, now you agree.
Well, no, I've always agreed. I was just saying, like, what about, like, I wanted you to talk about it because I'm sure people were thinking about it. Mm-hmm. Like, it's easy for us to say.
It seems like that. And I mean, it goes back to the whole thought when people go, oh, look at that one hit wonder, right? Like, oh, look at that. And we're not talking about like viral videos, okay? We're talking about like normal, like talented people who finally made it, right? Oh, look at that person that made it into the music business. Like, oh, overnight success. And it's like, you don't know the 5, 10, 15 years that they put into learning the music, mastering their voice, whatever, like all the grind that they put in it. You have no idea. And so when somebody looks at somebody, oh yeah, of course. I mean, like they hooked up with that one person and that's why they're famous or whatever. Like, and for us, it's like, oh, look at them. Like, oh, she's the daughter of Tony Perez. And that's why, they're fine. Exactly. I tell you that and you go like, no, that's not the reason. Like, right? And so that's why, like, I push back with the whole privilege thing. It's just like, no, like we are where we are. And yeah, like from a perspective, if you don't know us, if you haven't noticed that long, like, yeah, you might see us and like, oh, like they're comfortable. Oh, she's Tony Perez's kid. Oh, that's probably why. I mean, he's rolling in the dough, obviously, from all his albums and stuff. Like, obviously, he gave her money to, so they start their life together, and that's why they're so good, and they have retirement investments and blah, blah, blah. That's why. Somebody who doesn't know us goes like that, and it's like, oh, they're people of privilege. But people who know us, like, know, like, where we started, You love to tell everybody, oh, he used to build fences and he used to work 14 hours and he used to come home he used to leave at 7 a.m. and come home at 7 or at 9 p.m. or whatever. Like, I would not call that privilege. That doesn't seem like privilege to me. You know, like everything that I went through in my childhood or my adolescent years, like I wouldn't call that privilege either. Like, yeah, like I had a house and there's food, like, but there was a lot of things also trying to pull me down, you know? And so that's why I'm just like, I wouldn't call us in a place of privilege. Like we may be I think we are in a place of privilege where inflation doesn't bug us. But it's simply because we did years of sacrifice and years of making the right choices. And that's what we're hoping that everybody gets encouraged to do through this conversation I love where the conversation went because it was talking about inflation and the reality of like the impact that it has on people. Mm-hmm. And then we also talked about like, because maybe you're right. Maybe some people are listening to us and like, oh yeah, it must be nice. Like, yeah, you don't care about inflation because look at you, like you're in a place of privilege. But like, I love that you kind of like maneuvered the conversation like this is open to anybody. Like whether you're at zero or in the negatives, or if you're almost at the finish line, like wherever it is that you are, this is open to anybody. You can be in this place of peace and tranquility and contentment. And you could be in a place where like the world can be burning and I know I'm going to be fine because God has given me the wisdom. God is with me. I have the knowledge. I've been practicing it. I have the discipline and determination. Like I know I'm going to be fine. And I know we're going to be fine. I know our family's going to be fine. There's nothing that our kids are going to be lacking. Why? Because we went through the process.
Yeah. And I think the goal, and where a lot of Christians kind of stop thinking, and maybe it's a mistake, is that we were talking about like this like false faith of, I don't have to worry about the future because God's got me. And it's really not faith because faith without action is dead. Mm-hmm. But they masquerade it as positivity and hope or whatever. But as you were saying now, like the goal is not to say, oh, inflation's happening, but God's got me. The goal is to say inflation and the world may be crumbling apart. God's got me and he can use me to bless others. Because I feel like that's very selfish thinking of saying like, I will be okay. Because you might be okay. Like you might be paycheck to paycheck or barely make the ends meet or get into enough debt where you're like surviving. But that shouldn't be your goal. Your goal should be where you can take care of your family and then extend help and be like, here, I'll help you too.
Yeah.
And for that requires not just going through the motions and we'll figure it out, but that requires preparation and wisdom and stewardship.
Yeah. And I believe that's where everyone wants to be, in a place of, oh, I'm not worrying about money. And not only that, but I could help people, you know, like what we've been practicing for years now. And it's just like, I just hope, and I encourage everybody to start being proactive. Be proactive in your finances. Be proactive in your spirituality. Be proactive in your health. Because we don't know what's up ahead. We have absolutely no idea what's up ahead. Especially financially, we have no idea. I mean, you personally, you love to bring up, oh, like history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes or whatever. And you love talking about the civilizations before us and the, what's the word that I'm looking for? The nations, another word for nations, but...
empires?
The empires. Yeah, the empires that rose and fell, how long it took them, where it is that it seems like they went wrong and that's why they started crumbling or whatever. And so like it's naive to think that America will be the greatest power ever for the rest of time.
Poor baby.
We're 250 years old, I guess, this year, huh? But yeah, we have no idea what's going to happen. So the best thing that you can do is make the wise choices, seek the knowledge if you don't have the knowledge, and practice discipline. I think discipline is something that is very widely missed in our generation and in the generations that are behind us as well. Discipline is, if you have discipline, your bar is high and above a lot of people's.
Yeah.
High and above. High and above. You set yourself apart when you practice discipline nowadays. Like, honestly, the bar is set very low on like a median or like an average scale. So if you practice a little determination, a little, I'm going to expand my knowledge, I'm going to expand my skills, I'm going to practice, like, you go from being just this average Joe to like this superstar so easily. And I think that's why like the older generations look at the new generations and be like, the world's going to eat you up and spit you out. Because just the way that the generations acted in the past versus now is night and day. And so, yeah, if you really want to be set apart, if you want to live in the goals that you've been dreaming of, that's really what it takes. I mean, probably easier said than done. I'm giving like a recipe for, success, whatever, but like it takes time, obviously patience. We've talked about this many times, but it takes discipline, it takes expansion, it takes determination. But if you practice all those things, like, yes, you get to a point of where people will be like, they're privileged. And it's a privilege to be viewed that way, I guess. Although I push back against it, but it's a privilege to be seen as somebody with privilege, because it's just like, I think on one hand I could smile and be like, all right, cool. And in my head, I'll be like, you have no idea what it took to get here, but if that's simply what you want to plaster my title with, so be it. But anybody curious enough to ask, how did you get there? I mean, me and you both know. People that know us both, like, all know. We are more than willing to like share everything. Share the knowledge, be a coach, walk with you. But yeah. What's the phrase? The world is your oyster.
Yep.
If you can dream it, you can do it. So yeah, I encourage you guys, please. Inflation is a huge thing. It affects us all, but it doesn't have to affect you that much. You can be in a better place. We're living in uncertain times in a lot of aspects in our life. And so do what you got to do. And do it with the Better Everyday podcast. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, we will see you guys next time. We appreciate you guys listening in. We just encourage you guys to like, subscribe, comment,
Let us know if you think we do have privilege.
Please don't. You're going to irk me if anybody says you guys have privilege.
We do, David.
All right. Well, we love you guys, and we'll see you guys on the next one.